Hello, everybody. This is Stephanie again for Twin Flames Universe. I'm coming on for our live event, our live Q&A series with our Twin Flame Ascension School students. And today we'll be talking to Michaila Franklin. She is a student of the 7 p.m. class. So stay tuned for lots of juice and for if you want to learn about how to use the mirror exercise to heal depression and anxiety, which is really important. And I know a lot of people are working through that right now. So if you'd like to learn more, stay tuned, stay on. Give me some love as I invite Michaila. Hey, everybody. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, Crystal. How you doing this morning? Everybody doing okay? Well, it's my morning. It's your evening. Over here in Taiwan. Hey, Michaila.
Hey. Hi.
All right. How are you feeling this evening?
I'm feeling good. I'm ready to do Q&A.
Very good. All's good. Awesome. All right. So we're just gonna, honestly, we're just gonna dive right in because I think we've got a lot of really cool stuff to talk about and to share. Um, and so Michaila has been in Twin Flame Ascension School for about 1 year, and she's coming up on her anniversary. Yay, Michaila! So I actually remember her first class because by the time that she came into the Wednesday 7 p.m. class, I had already transferred into that one. And so was it your first class that you actually called in your true twin flame? Or did you have some
Yeah, it
clearances?
was the first class.
First class. Cool. 'Cause I know
Yeah,
some
first class.
people, very cool. Um, some people, they need to do some clearing before they call on their true twin flame. And one of the live class, or one of the free classes, excuse me, one of the students called in their twin flame, and Jeff talked about this and how Jeff and Shaleia both said how calling in your twin flame is akin to like having a baby, right? And we got to prepare for that. And some people are
Right,
ready,
yeah.
and some people are just not, and they need some time to kind of clear through the junk before getting there. And yeah, and so Michaela was ready. She was super ready. Can you kind of
Yeah.
walk us through that story because it's really fun, starting with this community, and like for example Daniel, and like how that connected, like how it all came together. How that
Yeah.
was your key to your twin flame.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, so it started yeah, like a year ago, last summer I joined the forum. I was I thought that this other guy was my real twin flame, but he wasn't. And I got a romance report. I manifested. I didn't have I wanted to join live classes, but I didn't really have the money to do it. So I was just really focused on getting a job. And I finally got a job and ordered a romance report. And I found out that the guy that I thought was my false twin was not my twin flame. And I thought I was going to be crushed
Mm.
because like part of me knew, that it wasn't real. Um, so I ordered the romance report, and yeah, around that time I had found out Daniel Carboni, hi Daniel, um, lives in Albuquerque too, and we had planned to meet up, but we just never got around to it. And then one day I was at Barnes and Noble, and I just saw this guy wandering around the parking lot, and um, he looked just like Daniel, but I was just staring at him, and I didn't know if it was really him or not. And I had left my phone at home that day. And when I got back, Daniel had left me a few messages and was asking about a job. And I was like, yeah, I actually have a job for you. By the way, were you at Barnes and Noble earlier? And he was like, you saw me there? And I was like, yeah. And it was really weird. And then the next day, I actually joined TFAS. And then I got him a job where I worked, which is where we both met our twin flames, which is really crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's just been a bunch of just like little miracles along the way that led me there. And then I met my twin flame.
Mm, perfect. Little miracles,
Mm.
the word little doesn't even fully describe it because to our
Right.
perception it may look little, but it's huge.
They're cute.
Imagine coming to this community was exactly what you needed to align you, to find the support system in order to call in your twin flame, to
Mhm.
see the truth, right, to get clarity, and that's huge. And that's what a lot of people are missing. I think that's where a lot of people are really wounded, is support.
Yeah.
And so how great is it that we have this, and we have Jeff and Shaleia
Hmm.
to lead us through and to call us out when we're, holding on to illusions and to support us through the calling in process and everything. So can you kind of tell me what that felt like? Because I remember I was there, so I remember what it looked like. And I don't remember maybe class 30, was it class 20,
It was 25, my
25?
first class.
So if you're out
Hmm.
there and you're subscribed, go to class 25, Wednesday at 7 p.m. so you can watch Michaila calling in her twin flame.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah, it was really memorable. Yeah, I mean, it just felt kind of like coming home. Like it felt like my whole life kind of led up to that moment, and I felt like I crossed like a point of no return on my journey like to God, and yeah, it was really peaceful, and I just felt like I was turning a new page in life, that everything was about to change, and it did, definitely.
I love that feeling.
'Cause I think, yeah, like it's great. And within that week, I had identified him, and then the next class is when Jeff and Shaleia helped me like identify him and figure out which person it was, and it was just life changing.
So pop
It was
quiz,
awesome.
because I know this is a very common question on the forum. Quite a few people, like we've heard both sides. So I want you to explain kind of your experience with what that felt like. Did you absolutely recognize your twin the moment that you saw him?
No, I didn't at all, actually. He was like the last person that I guessed. It's really funny looking back because I had actually met him, not technically met him before my romance report, but I had encountered him because we got hired at the job at the exact same time. We're the only two people there. We were both standing like in the lobby of where we work now. We were both wearing purple shirts. I think back, it's really funny. But we were both standing, we were just locked out of the door, and neither of us said like a word to each other. We were just kind of standing there awkwardly. And then we went into the like interview room and we filled out our paperwork and then went our separate ways. And I didn't see him until I called him in class. I didn't see him until it had been like maybe a little less than a month. But yeah, it didn't cross my mind at all that it was him. But looking back, it's completely obvious.
So what happened? Like why weren't you able to? If you could kind of tune in and kind of, I
Mm.
would say guess, but you through your heart, God will be able to tell you, right? If you could know what
Well,
happened there,
yeah.
what was it?
Well, yeah, it was because I was still thinking that this other guy was my twin flame. I was like knee deep in my false twin flame experience at that time, and I was just like, I didn't even give him another look. I was like, I have no eyes for anybody else but my twin flame, haha. But yeah, I mean, was just holding on to too many illusions at the time to be open to even feel the truth in my heart. I just had a lot of blocks to clear before I recognized him, and more like I hadn't fully committed to the path because this was before I ordered my romance report and joined TFAS, so I hadn't fully committed and I was holding on to a lot of illusions.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Nice. That's a really good answer. And I'm really glad we're talking about this, because there are some people that they'll ask, I've known them for a year, 6 months, and it wasn't until now that like this bubble phase happened or like romance began and I started to actually see them in a new light, right? So sometimes it's really true. Like when you're meeting your twin flame, like you really do have to heal a few blocks and to
Yeah.
learn how to feel your feelings in order to even recognize them.
Hmm.
A similar thing happened to me, where he like walked. It was so epic how like he just like came into my reality, like walked through my front door. But I was like not grounded in my body, and I was just so like skirting through life, not feeling anything, not really feeling my feelings or anything. It's about 4 to 6 months before I joined TFAS, and I was just like, "Hi," super like, bubbly stuff, and he was just kind of like. I was like, "Hi, nice to meet you." Didn't really realize it until I started seeing all the signs and synchronicities around me, which some people. So God is always speaking to us, right? For
Mm.
Michaila, it was through Jeff and Shaleia helping her find and recognize her true twin flame. Um, Sometimes it's directly through you. You can feel it very clearly. Your heart speaks to you, and it's just like a knowing. And kind of like Michaila said, she had a false twin experience. I did too, and I thought that
I
they,
had
yeah, and I thought,
two of them, yeah.
oh, two. Oh my goodness.
Two. Yeah, so yeah.
And it's not like I was in that false twin experience because I knew that they're false. It was because I thought that they were really honestly my true twin, but it was actually kind of a blessing, was obviously a blessing because it got me ready to meet my true twin. So
Right.
sometimes God brings us, universe, creator, spirit, source, brings us these experiences so that we learn. So the faster that we detach and
Hmm.
are flexible and go with the flow and learn the lesson and use the mirror exercise to heal upsets with that person. So some people are like, I don't want to use the mirror exercise. I don't want to subscribe because I don't know if it's my true twin flame. You don't need to know, right, Michaila? You don't need to know if it's your true twin flame
Right.
because you're working through it. And as soon as you heal those upsets, that person leaves and your true twin flame will be revealed, right? So
Always.
how
Yeah.
easy was that experience for you when you started to do the work and started to kind of,
It was,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, it was so much easier than like I thought it would be. Because I remember when I first ordered my romance report, I was like, if this guy's not my real twin flame, I'm gonna be devastated. Like it's gonna be so hard. How will I ever move past it? But when I like actually read the words on my romance report and just like it was relieving. Like it felt good to release that attachment. Like I was holding so tightly to it that it was actually causing me pain, and I didn't even realize. And once I just was like I there was like a couple of moments where I like when I first got the romance report, I felt kind of sad about it, grieved a little bit, but I let it go, and yeah, it was really easy to let it go, and it was beautiful to just like embrace the truth that like my real twin flame is out there.
Yeah. And he's amazing.
Yeah,
Such a sweetie.
yeah,
Just like you.
yeah.
Surprise, surprise. Not really at all. Awesome. Great story. That's something, again, it's similar, I guess, in a different setting that I had too, where I had to kind of, I came here and was across the world from who I believed was my true twin. And God led me to a couple of different videos that were like, you got to detach. Whether they're your true twin or your false twin, detach, let go, because if they're your true twin, they'll come back to you. If they're your false twin, you're
Mhm.
letting them go so you can actually welcome in your true twin. So regardless,
Yeah, and it feels good.
yeah, non-attachment is key, always. Um, and guess what? I kind of felt the same way when I let go of my true twin or sorry, my false twin, and I like sent him a kind of a message for closure, and leaving the door open, kind of like releasing all cords, and like that way I knew if he was mine, through God, like I knew that it would come that energy would come back into my life if it was through him, and it never did. 30 days later, after I detached, my true twin walked through my front door. So it works, folks. Detach, stop
Yep.
worrying about it, just do your inner work, and you get the results. Um,
Yeah.
yes, so perfect. Speaking of all of that, one thing I like to always ask everybody is, even though it's deep, what are some of your blocks that you've been working through? Kind of like the themes of your spiritual work. And the reason why I ask this is because every person's theme of like their blocks that they're working through, kind of the core blocks that they're working through, it's actually the things where they're working towards mastery in, right? I mean, eventually we'll be in mastering and everything, but um, for example, if Michaela's blocks are around communication, that means that she is friggin' amazing at communication, but it also means that she has the most blocks there. And so she gets to experience extreme contrast all the way through to mastery, which is really cool. Um,
Yeah.
some people kind of they experience a lot of blocks in one area, like Jeff and Shaleia say, the onion, and we have to peel away so many layers, and they may get really stuck or sad or whatever about that thing, but actually that's where you have the highest value, that like your deepest core value in those areas. So what are you mastering right now? What are you working through in your blocks?
My biggest blocks right now, like the theme of my life is definitely just openness and communication, like you said, confidence and trust. Those are the big four right now that I'm working on. And they're definitely being reflected to me, just between me and my twin flame on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
yeah.
do you see your twin flame? Like, are you guys in separation right now? What is that situation?
I mean, I guess you're in separation, and I mean, we work together, but and we're on the same team at work, so I'm around him all the time, like most of the week, so I don't really see the separation. I mean, technically, yeah, but
But it's not, right? We're never
it's there.
actually in separation.
Yeah,
That's the illusion.
yeah.
So you see him every day, basically, almost every single day,
Hmm.
but you're not like all over him. You're not trying to control and push yourself all over him. What?
No.
Why are you doing that, Michaela?
because that it feels so bad to do that, and it just never gets you what you want. It's awkward, like it repels them, and you just don't feel good. So it's
Completely.
not fun to do that. Yeah, control's not good.
Not at all. And we don't force ourselves upon people, right? Even if they're twin flame, you
No.
can kind of feel in your heart when it's
Hmm.
appropriate and when it's not. We don't choose when
Yeah.
we're like gonna jump on them. Like God creates those opportunities. We're not God. We don't have to create it. But just be open
Right.
and willing when God presents it.
Hmm.
So Michaela's been doing some great work
Yeah.
in healing there, and it's really nice. So because she's not controlling and she's just going with the flow, going with God the whole way, she's able to experience, this closeness with him physical proximity every day, which is really nice in her job. So that's really, really great. So sometimes when God, and not saying that that's better or worse because there is no better or worse, but some people experience where their twin flame may block them, may move across country, something like that. And again, that's not worse either. Maybe that's what those people's souls and journey, their union needed in order to trigger the healing that was necessary. And once you heal the
Exactly.
upset that's keeping you apart in that way, the illusion of separation there, they're going to be attracted right back to the vibration. So everybody's journey is so different, whether you're working through your upsets like already in union right now, or whether you're just friends like Michaila and her twin flame and seeing each other, working with each other, or if your twin flame blocked you and is across the world right now, like either way, you're doing well as long as you're choosing God and continuing to work through your upsets. Like you're all on the same level. It's all perfect. Just because someone's, that's another question that we see a lot in the forum is like, who's in union here? It's like, why does it matter? Like,
Hmm.
it doesn't mean that there's no hierarchy, there's no head up or anything like that. We're all exactly like in the same place as long as we're committing to the journey, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Something that you touched upon was the trust and openness. And I know with your false twin, that was like where you experienced a lot of contrast and
Hmm.
illusion, like quite a bit. So
Yeah.
can you
Um,
talk us through just a little bit, or a lot if you want to, some of that?
yeah. Well, actually, yeah, like I said earlier, I had two false twin experiences, and the first one I think is where most of the like major illusion happened. It was like the most I experienced the most contrast with that experience, but it was funny because the two experiences kind of like mirrored, like were opposites basically.
Hmm.
But yeah, uh, first false twin flame who actually introduced me to Jeff and Shaleia, which is really funny.
LOL.
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, it got really bad. So it was really like he was really controlling in like a spiritual way. Like it was like almost it was culty basically, and it just got weirder and weirder. And then I realized that what I was looking for in him, I was not going to find within him.
Yeah.
It was all about control and like image with him. He was like not only a false twin flame, but like a false spiritual teacher. So it was kind of like knocked out two birds in one stone,
Yeah.
with that experience. But yeah, I felt really betrayed in that situation because I put a lot of trust and faith into that relationship. Um, but I manifested that because I already had I was already working through issues of trust.
Mm.
And then once I finally let him go, I like within days met the second false twin flame at a music festival, which was like an opposite experience. I actually liked that guy, but yeah, but it was I just yeah, like my trust was kind of betrayed by putting my faith in the wrong person basically.
Right.
But it helped me get clear on what the right person really looked like
Right.
for me.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
sharing that. That's really raw. I know, and all blocks and everything is raw, but that's something that not a lot of people talk about is their experience here. Because I know a lot of people in the community, like I had the same thing, before I even came here. I would watch hours and hours and hours of twin flame videos from people that
Hmm.
really didn't know what the F they're talking about. And they would, and I wasted so much time and I leaked so much energy because it felt good at the time, right? Like, and there's no judgment, right? I was just literally learning the contrast so that I could know what it
Yeah.
felt like and what it looked like when the real thing came. right? And so a lot of people are wounded here, and that's why I'm glad we're talking about it, because why aren't we talking about this more, right?
Right.
People, and I even saw on the forum last night people talking about, oh, those types of these types of twin flame groups, these types of twin flame teachers, this is what they teach. It's like, what are you talking about? These, this is home, right? Twin Flames Universe,
Mm-hmm.
Jeff and Shaleia, this is home. They are the teachers for twin flames, and everyone else,
Absolutely.
it's like a, this is something that I talked with, actually Robin, hi Robin, about when it comes to this. Everyone else that's talking about it's akin to like a 9-year-old boy trying to teach a 30-year-old woman what sex is. It's like, yeah, and there's the thing, and then you do the thing, and then it's there. He. That's what it feels like with all these other people talking about twin flames, that the false teachers. They have no clue what the depth of it is or what the truth of it is, because they've never experienced it. They're not experiencing the truth of a union, which is true union. Energy and matter, spirit, body, right? We're bringing heaven to earth. Unionism, union consciousness, unity consciousness. That's what Jeff and Shaleia teach. That's the truth, and that's what makes them different than everyone else. Everyone else tries to teach it through separation, good, bad, hierarchy, image. It's not true, right? So I'm really glad you brought this up, because this needs to be talked about, and I really wanted to share, like, to kind of get your view on it, um, because this is something you value very deeply, is commitment and loyalty, and that's the reason why you experienced a lot of wounding there, is for the contrast, so you can make the right choice when it comes, and really value it. Yeah. So thanks. I really appreciate that, and that's basically how you
Mm-hmm.
found Jeff and Shalea's work, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Through lots of contrast and yeah, contrast, just realizing that what I was looking for was teachers who had the answer and nobody had the answer. Like nobody I've but Jeff and Shaleia I found their work in and found the answer, you know.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with when I first joined, I had walls up, so I joined classes, and it was like 3 months before I actually used the mirror exercise for the first time. So I was working through a lot of resistance. So the nice thing about it is now that I've worked through the resistance, the work is easy, right? It was just about bringing
Yeah.
comfort and trust around the work. And so now, like, when I joined, there was a class, maybe 36, 40, 42 students. Now we've got what, 10,000, so 10,000
Yeah.
people. So we know this work works, and I've experienced the results and the benefits, and the unity and the internal freedom and peace because of it, and external freedom and peace because of it. So I no longer need to work through resistance, because I know it's true, and I want to share that with people, and that's what we're doing right here.
Right.
If you have the key to heaven, why not share it with people? Otherwise, you're just
Mm.
selfish.
Because everyone's looking for it.
Yeah, we're here. Yeah. So, all right. So what are some of your tips and tricks for this, like, spirituality? I say spirituality, that's kind of a loaded word, of integrating this work and the mirror exercise and loving yourself into your everyday. And, like, what made that easier for you? What are some of the tips and tricks and maybe aha moments that you had?
Mhm. So, yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is really like persistence and self-discipline because it can be really easy to just get caught on like those, like ego trips where, you feel like everything's falling apart and, it's really hard, but like definitely persistence and just faith through all that, like the hard stuff, because yeah, the more you like really push through all those really dark moments, the more love you're just like releasing more of all the negative stuff, and you can experience a lot more joy. And it's just
Yeah.
persistence, discipline, and of course, like just really committing to yourself and committing to loving yourself because that nothing ever will like pay off the way, your commitment to yourself and God will pay off. So persistence, discipline, and definitely commitment
Amen.
to the path. Yeah.
Yeah. And um, something you said earlier, which I really loved, and so I wrote it down. Michaila and I were talking earlier before this, and I wrote it down because it was so good. She said something really brilliant about using the mirror exercise, and it kind of really brought light to it, and was said such a simple way. when we use our core choices, right, to choose love, sometimes the resistance comes when we don't know that we can choose love in that space and in that experience. And that's why TFAS classes are so important, because they're not only just helping you work through upsets, but Jeff and Shaleia are actually walking us through like what is true and what is not, right? Being able to discern the truth of existence in God and what is false. And so that we actually know where we need to choose. Because if I'm stuck in my illusions, how do I know what to choose to get out of it? I'm blind, right? And that's why the support in the community and the classes are there. But something that Michaila said was, choose the way that God would choose. I was like, blown away. I was like, choose the way that God would choose. And some people feel some resistance to doing the inner work, or coming out of the dark night of the soul, or even resistance to doing step 4 of the mirror exercise, which is to love yourself there. And it's because they're not seeing the truth there and not choosing the way God would choose, right? The unconditional love, loving yourself the way you wish, like for example, the way you would envision a mother mothering her newborn baby, like loving it so deeply. That's that unconditional love that we must bring to everything, including to ourselves. And it starts there. So I loved that, what Michaila said. And she talked about, yeah, commitment is really huge. And if you're not committed to yourself, it will reflect directly in all of your relationships. And every single person that you step across, not only that, but like if you tried to, this kept coming up for me, where I would see people be upset that their appointments kept getting canceled. And I was like, well, maybe you have a commitment block with yourself. Because people aren't able to commit to you. So is it them? No, it's your own commitment block, right? And as we move forward here, like, how do you expect your twin flame to commit to you if you can't commit to loving you? That's huge. Um, and that all starts with that discipline that Michaila was also talking about. You need to have discipline in doing the spiritual work. You can't just do one mirror exercise and be like, I'm done. Where's my twin? Yay. You gotta actually commit to doing it every day. So in that case, Michaila, can you tell me a little bit like your your mirror exercise methodology? What do you do? How do you do that? How do you stay disciplined in your mirror exercising and your spiritual work?
Yeah, I mean, I do the mirror exercise 20, like all day. I'm to the point where I do it, at work. If somebody upsets me, I can do it when I'm talking, in conversations with people. It's just always choosing to love yourself in the place that doesn't feel good. It's really simple. It's kind of hard at first, but once you master it through commitment and discipline and understanding that it is a process, that it's not like a magic pill where you just, yeah, do one mirror exercise and then your twin flame comes, but that it's not just healing like your relationship with your twin, but it's like all areas of your life. And so every single upset matters and has like a part. There's like no small upset. I read that in the Course in Miracles and I loved that. There's no such thing as a small upset because it all kind of ties into like your core blocks. And every little mirror exercise you do will pay off. And like one day you'll just wake up and everything's changed. And like, you know,
I like that.
miracles happen through this work. So
Yeah.
just keep doing it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly what Michaela said. One day you just wake up and things are different. One day you get faced with the same experience, like even socially. This is where I really noticed it, is I would be hanging out with my friends and the same kind of experience would happen, but my reaction to it was completely different, just naturally. Just naturally. And I was like,
Right.
whoa. Afterwards, I was like, that felt really good. I didn't I didn't close up. I didn't, put up a wall. I felt safe to express. I didn't feel any anxiety. That was huge. Especially with social anxiety, that was huge. Even though I looked fine on the outside because I was a really good actress, I was feeling so much anxiety on the inside, and in healing that through like figuring out why the anxiety was there, using the mirror exercise and healing that and working through that, I actually experienced immediate results there with my connection with people, right? My connection with my family improved drastically too. Did you have any experiences like that, starting the mirror exercise, like using the work before and after joining the school and starting to work?
Yeah. yeah, I mean, like we talked a little bit about depression before, and before TFAS, I like finally looked back and I was actually quite depressed. It wasn't like chronic or anything, but my intention wasn't really to heal depression, but it was just to feel better. And I just kept healing and loving myself in all the places where I was becoming upset and everything was coming up. And I just really committed to my healing. And I woke up one day and I'm not sad all the time anymore. Like I healed depression. Like I mean, of course, like I'll feel sad sometimes, but it's not like this heavy, like dark, like horrible feeling that just like hangs over you like a cloud all the time. Like yeah, like it's a miracle. Like I just woke up one day and I just felt better inside, like fundamentally better. Like
Mm.
it was awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
huge. And now I'm working on anxiety too.
very good. And this is helping with
Yeah,
this, right? It's like anxiety, the
yeah.
kind of the root of that is control, right? And the fear,
Hmm.
but kind of like believing that attack is real. And quite a few people, it's interesting. Someone talked about how the only fears that we're born with are the fear of height, or is it fear of heights, fear of falling, and then fear of loud noises. And every other fear besides that is kind of borrowed or like programmed in um, to
Hmm.
us, including fear of public speaking. Why did that why is that the most common fear in humans? Fear of public speaking. Well, because they're afraid of being persecuted, right?
Hmm.
Speaking their truth and being persecuted. Heal the upset, persecution, attack, and then you
Yeah.
never experience that. And you realize that, oh, it was just the anxiety itself. No one was actually going to persecute me. That's kind of the epitome
It was,
of this work. You heal it on the inside, and now you're able to act. You have personal freedom to just be you and love yourself. That's why it's the greatest
mhm.
tool to love yourself. And I remember that the first moment that I really recognized that and realized that, I was in the forum. Again, this is when the forum was much smaller. And someone asked that. They're like, what's the best way to love yourself? And Jeff wrote, mirror exercise. And I was like, yeah, right. Okay, cool. But, and then I sat with it and I was like, no, you're right. You're right. Best way to love myself is the mirror exercise, giving love there. And then it allows me to create the foundation to love me out here too. Powerful. That in itself is a miracle, right? So you touched upon depression. What did that feel like when you were clearing that, when it was coming out? Did you go into the dark night of the soul?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, yeah, I definitely, I mean, a couple of them. I actually, like the first 4 or 5 months of TFAS, I feel like it was constant upheaval, which was my choice, of course. I was doing like really deep inner work. You don't have to do it that way. But yeah, I mean, there were times where, I mean, I feel like everybody can relate to that. There are times when you just feel like, like there's no life past this feeling. Like it just feels so bad, and you just can't see the end, like the light at the end of the tunnel. But like you don't have to see it and you don't have to do anything. You just have to trust and just keep going because like once you clear that and you come out of like the dark night of the soul, it is like so unbelievably worth it. Like
Yeah,
yeah, like I don't know. There's no words for me to describe it. It's miraculous.
yeah,
Just to have faith and just persist.
yeah. So if you could give a message to anyone who's watching who's going through the dark night of the soul right now, what would that be?
I would say just keep on going. Don't give up. Just put your faith into God and that you're not, you don't have to worry about doing anything. Just love yourself and just envision yourself coming out of this and let it happen and let God do it for you and have faith.
I love that. When you were saying
Yeah.
that, I saw a vision of, not a vision, but like a picture of a caterpillar and how it puts itself in a cocoon, right? And then it becomes this beautiful butterfly. But what most people don't know is what happens in that cocoon. And what happens in that cocoon is the caterpillar cells actually like liquefy. This is kind of crazy. You can Google it, but it actually like liquefies and turns into this like primordial ooze. And it's the only, well, I guess, yeah, caterpillars I think are the only, I would say animal, but they're bug, animal or bug that this
Yeah.
happens to. This incredible, complete transformation like in this way, and they, the all of the structure, the cell structures come together and they change and morph like almost down to the stem cells, and then they all
Hmm.
through genetic memory, through the divine grace of God, come together in a now new alignment into this beautiful butterfly, and then they are created and the colors are and everything, and the butterfly is able to be born, right? The transformation. That's what's happening in our dark night of the soul. We're just in a cocoon and
Hmm.
we're being like completely twisted and turned and shifted. Our entire exit, like our paradigm of how we see the world is changing. And so of course there may be a lot of confusion during that time, but you're just slowly you're coming together as a butterfly. It's
Yeah,
beautiful, right? And it's
that's
nice to
exactly it.
know, even though you're in it and you can't see the butterfly, it's nice to know that that's there, right? That's where I'm
Yeah.
going, even though you can't feel it right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
good.
There's never been like one like dark night of the soul that I've had that I didn't come out on the other side just like 10 times happier than I was before. Like not one time.
Ooh,
And it'll never happen like that. Yeah, it'll always get better. So
nice. I love that.
stick through it.
Very good. Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that. I appreciate it. Um, Very good. And do you have any other things you want to share or say? I think we've pretty much gone through all of the questions here. If anyone has a question for Michaila, I would love to ask. But do you want to share anything else that may be on your heart right now?
Um, yeah, I just wanted to say like just the smartest thing you could possibly do is just commit to yourself and the work because and to God because nothing else is gonna really pay off in the long run besides that. So just do it.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Nothing else is going to pay off in the long run. Isn't that the truth? All
Hmm.
that other energy that
Yeah.
we put into, we were investing really into the false
Yeah.
twin flame teachers, the other videos, the other communities that before we came here, like it didn't, it was lost. It was leaked away, right? Like our cup, this is my coffee cup, but our cup, not a plug for a brand. But our cup was had holes in it. The cup of the forum, the other groups or whatever, or the other teachers, it was leaky. So we would put, and this is what Jeff and Shaleia like to talk about too. Our twin is our ultimate kind of container for our love, and
Hmm.
every other person that we put our love into is like all karmics, false twins. Eventually, that love will end up either flowing over or leaking away because they weren't created to hold our love at the capacity that
Yeah.
we were created. The same thing with all those other people and communities, right? As within, so without, as above, so below. Just another representation of the same exact pattern. Um, Investing your energy in the wrong place. And so I know for me, as soon as I started investing my energy in the correct place, I started to experience huge growth immediately within myself and with
Hmm.
and the outside. Like for example, in this forum, in this community, in these classes, as soon as I started to really invest here, that's when I started to actually experience change within me.
Yeah.
And then, as the momentum, the energetic momentum, law of attraction, manifesting happened outside of me too, and it was really cool. We are not only um, we are not only finding our twin flame, right, and learning how to give our love to our twin flame as our container for our love, but also how to be a container ourselves for their love. So we're like healing and stopping up all the holes in our cups, so that way when our twin wants to love us, we can hold it all. So we're also healing all of our energy leaks, which for me, which for Michaila was, maybe depression, anxiety, other communities that weren't interested in actually investing at all in us and didn't weren't going to grow our love, right? And that's the difference
Hmm.
between true love, peace, and God, and ego. Even if love is 99.99999% love, it's not love anymore because it's 0.00001% ego and fear. So some people might say, well, it's mostly no. Go for it all. If it's not all, it's not God.
Hmm.
That's the same thing. If it's not all, it's a false twin, right? Um,
Yeah.
So we're just creating our cups, nice, healthy,
The
um,
Holy Grail.
a holy grail. That's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
Thanks for dropping
This is
that.
yeah. Yeah.
We were talking about this earlier, and Michaila said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
we're creating the holy grail." I was like, "Damn!" They said all of these myths about the holy grail, people seeking the holy
Right.
grail for eternal life and knowledge. It's not outside of us. It's right here. We're
It's Twin
creating
Flame
it.
Union. Yeah, it's like your union. Yeah.
Deep. Love it. All right, let's see. Hillary Dahl says, were you able to get clarity on your true twin flame through this? I think we already answered that, but go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Nothing will reveal your true twin flame like self-love in the mirror exercise. And it just gets clearer and clearer as I go deeper and deeper in my inner work.
Amen. Ain't that the truth? And do-do-do-do-do. Taylor says, "Go, Michaila Franklin. Miss you so much. This was awesome. Glad I joined in." Hi, Taylor.
Oh my God, yeah, I saw that. Hi, Taylor. Miss
Um,
you.
let's see. Do we have any other questions? Does anybody have one more question for Michaila before we go? Great questions, by the way. Thank you, Hillary, for asking. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. So I'll ask you a question because everybody is asking like well, I'm asking a lot of really intense questions, so let's lighten it up a little bit. What is your favorite animal?
The lion, definitely.
Why?
I don't know, I always just loved lions, and elephants are really nice too, but lions are so like majestic
Ooh.
and powerful, but they're also really graceful. I like them a lot.
Mm. Kind of like what's that guy's name in Narnia in the Chronicles of Narnia?
Aslan.
Aslan. That's it.
Aslan.
So
Yeah, he's like so gentle and like wise, but so like majestic. Yeah, they're beautiful. I love lions.
wow. And last
Mm.
question, what is your favorite color? Because why not?
Green.
Green. Beautiful. Are those is that the color of your eyes?
Yeah, it is
Ah,
actually. Thank
perfect.
you. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Michaila, for everything. Do you want to share if there's anything else that you might have popped up in the next last couple seconds? Feel free to share it now if that's the case. If not,
No, I don't have anything. Just all my love to you guys, you know. And thank you so much, Stephanie. This is awesome.
you're welcome. Yeah, this felt really good. I love how
I
we
did.
breached some taboos here, and that's what we're about, right?
Mm,
Transparency, true
yeah,
transparency. And taboos aren't actually taboos because that in uh, um, that what's the word I'm looking for makes it seem as if there's true fear. Fear.
like that discomfort. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where you got to go.
F
Yeah,
that. We talk about everything
yeah,
in here. No TMIs either.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Michaila, for joining me, and thank you everybody who came on and commented and gave some love. Really appreciate it. Yeah, this video will be living here forever. So thank you so much for adding your intention and your love into it. Everybody who came, especially Michaila. This
Thank
was
you.
really beautiful.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
yeah, it really was.
And we'll see you all soon in the forum. All right? All right.
All right.
Okay, cool. See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.